What's up, guys? Welcome to Half Marathon Prep. Today, we're going to go through the overview of my entire program. I'm going to break down how I'm setting up my program to reach the goal of a 1:35 half marathon. That will be a PR, but the goal is not just to run fast and only run. I'm going to show you throughout this entire prep how you can train for a half marathon or an endurance-based event while still prioritizing the goal of building muscle and building strength. So I'm also going to take you through my full upper body workouts later on in the video and just show you how I'm structuring my entire program. Show I'm structuring the running, the lifting. We'll talk about some things with the diet. And throughout this 12 weeks, I'm going to document that whole process so I can show you how I'm training and just show you that you can still sign up for an endurance event and you can still lift and you can still build muscle. And those two things can coexist in a program. So let's not waste time and let's hop into the program, how I'm structuring my week, and how I'm setting up my program to PR my half marathon and hit my goal of hitting a 1:35 half marathon later this year in October. So, like I said, this program is going to last for 12 weeks. So, we just had our first run yesterday. Today is going to be the first upper body strength training workout. So, let's go through an overview of a Monday through Sunday time frame of what my program looks like. So, starting off on Monday, which is today, I'm doing an upper body strength workout. Overall, my main goal right now is to PR this half marathon, but I still want to focus on building strength and building muscle, and I'm not going to completely pull out my strength training. So Monday, starting off with this upper body strength workout, I'm hitting everything in the upper body, chest, back, shoulders, biceps, triceps, hitting everything. And what I really want to focus on is the intensity with these workouts. So I want to focus on big compound strength movements, focus on getting stronger, focus on progression, focus on hitting muscle failure with the sets that I'm doing and making sure that the weights that I'm lifting is heavy, that I'm challenging my muscles because I'm just going to be lifting less each week, less volume, less sets. So I have to really make the sets count. And that's really why I want to take you through my full upper body workout later on in the video, just to structure it and to show you how I'm really setting up my program because it is going to be a little different than if your sole goal is to build muscle and build strength. On Tuesday, we're going to have our speed workouts. These are going to rotate throughout the prep. A lot of the workouts are going to be fartlek style. They're going to be tempo style. We'll be doing some track repeat workouts too as well. But a lot of the training that I'm going to be doing right now and what I personally really like for myself to improve as a runner, especially for this half marathon distance, is using things like fartlek intervals and tempo runs. I really find that I benefit a lot from these style of running workouts to just get used to your legs turning over faster, but also just to become more efficient at running at those higher tempo speeds. And just to get used to that, it's higher heart rate, it's faster leg turnover. And, my goal of a 1:35 is right around a 7:15 minute per mile pace. And for a 205-pound individual, that's a pretty fast pace for me. So it's something that holding out for 13.1 miles is going to be a challenge. So I can't just show up on race day expecting to run all slow and steady aerobic miles and think that I'm just going to pull 7:15 minute miles out of my what and just think that it's going to happen. So practicing these faster paced runs on these Tuesday workouts is crucial to be able to show up for the workout and show up for the half marathon just ready. And I'm used to that leg turnover, used to that higher heart rate, and I'm ready to go. So I'll be showing you some of those workouts throughout the prep as well, and just showing you exactly how I'm structuring that to show you how you can also implement that into your own training. On Wednesday, we're doing another strength workout. So back to the strength workouts, we're doing a full body workout. So like I said, the strength workouts are 3 times a week, which is really, really low volume for me. I'm used to strength training 5, 6 days a week. So this is something that it's going to take a little bit different structure. It's going to be hard for me to only lift 3 days a week. But when we're doing that, we have to make sure that every exercise that we're doing, every set that we're doing, it has purpose because just the overall time that we're spending on strength training is a lot lower. But that's what I'd really recommend if your goal is to sign up for an endurance event, is to make that your main priority. That is your main goal. So you're structuring everything in your program around that main goal of achieving that PR on the 5K, 10K, half marathon, whatever it is, or full marathon. But the lifting is going to be secondary, but that doesn't mean that you completely cut it out. You still focus on building strength, building muscle, and getting better because overall, that is also going to help you improve as a runner and it's going to help you decrease your risk of injury. So Wednesday's workout is a full body workout. We're doing a little bit more upper body on this day. The overall leg training is a little bit lower, but I'm still doing a couple lower body strength movements on this Wednesday workouts. So it's a full body workout. A lot of compound movements on this day, focusing on getting stronger. Again, I'll show you this video later on in the prep, how I'm structuring the full body workout on Wednesday, which will change over the course of the 12 weeks. But again, focusing on overloading, getting stronger, training big muscle groups, upper body and the lower body all together in one day. On Thursday, we're going to do an aerobic run. And this is the run of the week that I really want to focus on keeping slow and aerobic. So on Tuesday, we have our fast tempo paced runs. Wednesday, we're having full body strength. So there's a little bit of legs in there. Thursday, we're going to come in and the legs are going to be a little taxed. So this is a day we're going to keep this low, slow aerobic miles. This will build in volume throughout the weeks. I'll talk about specifically my running in a second, how I'm overloading and building volume over the weeks throughout the 12-week prep. But this is the day that I want to keep low, slow aerobic, trying to keep my heart rate at or below my max aerobic heart rate. So 180 minus your age, that's the heart rate they're going to try and shoot for to keep these low, slow aerobic miles. And that's really going to help you start to build endurance and allow your body to get better at running for longer. We don't just want to run hard every single workout. If we do that, we're going to get hurt, we're going to get injured, we're going to overtrain, and we're never going to build endurance. Friday, back to the strength training, is a full lower body workout. This is the day where I'm really trying to prioritize building strength, building muscle, and just beating the crap out of my legs. And like I said, I'm only really hitting legs one full time on Friday and a little bit on Wednesday. So this is the day where I'm allowing myself to go heavy, get stronger, do those big compound movements, doing things like squats and lunges and leg presses and RDLs and split squats and leg extensions, leg curls, calf raises, doing a lot of big compound strength exercises and trying to get stronger. Because after that Friday workout, Saturday is actually a full rest day. At the gym here, I'm always really busy on Saturdays. I'm back to back all morning long. And Saturdays are a day where we really try and prioritize our family time once I'm done with work. So me and Alyssa really find that taking that one day of rest works well for recovery, but it also just works well in our life where we're at in our life right now. You know, owning this gym is very busy throughout the week. We have a 13-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 3-year-old. They're busy with sports, and we just want to spend time with our family. So we really take Saturday off. But a lot of times what we'll do is we'll stretch, we'll go play pickleball, we'll go for walks, we'll do something active. It's just a full day of rest outside of the gym because Sunday's run is a run workout. And this is the day throughout the prep where we'll be practicing some tempo work even in the workouts, but it's also a distance run. So this is going to build up to that 11 to 12 miles on that Sunday run as the program builds throughout the 12 weeks. So this is a day where it's going to start off aerobic. We're going to start off working on building endurance and just building up mileage and tolerance to that mileage. But as the program goes on, this Sunday is going to start to have little interval and little tempo runs built into the run workouts. And it's just really going to be a taxing workout. So we want to make sure that we're rested. So I always find that, taking a rest day before that really helps. My legs are going to be a little sore on Saturday from the Friday leg workouts. So that's going to help recover and you're just going to feel your best for Sunday. So this is how I'm structuring my half marathon program Monday through Sunday. This is what it looks like on the days. Let's talk about the running volume and how I'm specifically increasing running volume every week to decrease the risk of injury, but also to build endurance and effectively get better as a runner and really build up to that half marathon distance. So my first half marathon that I ever did, I started off and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I was new to hybrid training of lifting and running, and it was just new to me. And, I had that mentality that every run should be hard, that every run should be a PR, that we should try to get better. I had that strength training mentality. And if you have that mentality with every single run, what's going to happen is you're going to overtrain and you're going to end up getting hurt. And what happened in my first half marathon prep is we built too quickly with mileage every week. Every run was really hard. And we started to run into these little nagging injuries in the knees and the ankles and the hips. And it's something that, I learned from that mistake, but I want you to avoid that mistake if you have an endurance event or just overall, if you're trying to increase mileage every week, just make sure that you're doing it slow. So this is exactly how we're doing it. So every 2 weeks, we're going to increase 1 mile on our runs. Really simple. It's really something that is not rocket science, but I find that if we increase mileage every single week, that gives your body a little bit too much stimulus. And I find that if you can increase your mileage every 2 weeks, that's really where your body is going to acclimate to that increase in distance. And I find that you're going to build a lot more efficiently and you're going to run into a lot less of those nagging type injuries. So say, for example, in our first week, our 2 aerobic runs on Sunday and on Thursday are 6 miles. Week 2, they're going to be 6 miles on Sunday and on Thursday. In week 3, it goes to 7 and 7. So it's a really simple build process. It's not that straightforward every single week, but this is a really simple building process that you could do that's going to allow your body to slowly acclimate to increasing mileage, because we never want to increase more than 10% each week. And I find that if you can increase it every 2 weeks, this is enough time where your body's going to acclimate to it, your joints are going to acclimate to it, your recovery is going to acclimate to the increase in volume. And I think that you're going to really be able to build endurance, build into this prep, and really build fitness and feel stronger without feeling like you're tearing your body down and that you're just adding too much mileage too quickly. I think that's the easiest way that you can really get hurt, especially if you're training for an endurance event. It's just being too aggressive with your time frame and just being too aggressive with your mileage increase each week. I think that this 12 weeks is a really good time frame for half marathon prep. I think that it gives you enough time to really build fitness and really feel like you're peaking at the right time. I do feel like if you are more aggressive with your approach, you don't necessarily need 12 weeks for this half marathon distance. But I find that for myself, me and my wife both kind of found that this 12 weeks at the pace that we do it at and the build of a mile every 2 weeks on our runs is a really good way to increase your mileage. And it's a really good time frame to feel like we can peak our best on race day. You don't want to peak too early. You don't want to rush it and, go like 4 weeks and you're not in shape in the first place and you try and rush your prep and you run into an injury, or you show up on race day and you're just not ready. And I always find that the 12-week prep for this half marathon distance works really well. Now we'll talk about caloric consumption, supplementation, fueling. We'll talk about that in later videos throughout the prep. But overall, with building into this half marathon prep, I wouldn't mind if I was a little bit lighter. So overall diet, I'm going to try to be really strict with it. Now I'm always pretty strict with my diet in general, but I'm trying to be strict with not having too many calories. I want to fuel my body, give my body enough food to go out, really put good intensity, have good runs, have good strength training workouts, and have enough food, make sure that I'm not in a caloric deficit. But I wouldn't mind if I was, 5 to 10 pounds lighter throughout this prep. I'm 205 right now. Not to say that I want to be, smaller just because of a body fat percentage goal, but I think that if I could lose 5 to 10 pounds, I think that 7:15 average minute mile pace is going to be a little easier to come by. It's going to be a little easier on the joints. And I think that it's just going to be a little less of a reach. If I show up on race and I'm 205, I have no doubt that I'll be ready to go by following the program that I've laid out and I've set forth for myself. But, throughout this prep with my diet, I'm going to try to not go crazy with the carbs and the calories. I'm going to give my body enough, but not too much. I don't want to be in a surplus where I'm gaining weight. I think that's the main thing here is, with running, there is a fine line with too little and too much. And there's a fine line with carrying too much weight, not carrying enough weight. And we want to build fitness. We don't want to be frail, but we also don't want to have a lot of excess weight, because if I could lose 5 to 10 pounds of body fat, like I said, I don't want to lose muscle mass of pure body fat throughout this prep. That's like running a half marathon with a 5 or 10 pound vest. It's very different and it could make a huge difference over the course of that half marathon. So like I said, I'll cover that in future videos. I'll talk about the diet specifically. I'll run you through a full day of eating, run you through supplementation, but just wanted to kind of touch on that, on my goal of my diet going into it and the mindset of where my mind really is at with my diet. I'm going to eat plenty of food, enough to fuel my body, but I really want to avoid any sort of weight gain during this prep because, even if I'm 5 pounds lighter on race day, that can make a huge difference over the course of that 13.1 miles. So this is an overview of my half marathon prep, how I'm structuring the program. Next, let's go through a full upper body strength workout. I want to show you how I'm structuring that because it is a little different. I'm used to lifting 5 or 6 times a week. I have 5 or 6 days to really get the exercises and the volume that I want. I have to be really meticulous with the exercise selection, with the rep range, with the way that I'm overloading. So I want to show you how I'm doing that so you can also replicate that if you have an endurance event, but you still want to build muscle, you still want to build strength, you still want to train hybrid. You don't want to completely neglect building muscle, building strength. This is exactly how you can do it. So let's hop into a workout. I'll do a voiceover and kind of just explain what I'm doing for this workout.
So this is the first upper body strength workout. Like I was saying, we got 3 strength workouts. So every single workout, you need to be efficient with your sets, your exercise selection. And the way I'm structuring all my workouts is every workout, the beginning of the workout has big compound movements. So today, starting off with incline dumbbell bench press, the goals. Overload here. So I did 4 warm-up sets before I hopped into 3 sets of 8 at 100 pounds. The goal is all 3 of those sets are challenging for me, so I'm barely squeezing out 8 here. This is my first set, and I successfully got all 3 sets, but it was a grind, and that's the goal, is we want to lift heavy. We don't want to lose any muscle mass. We want to continue to build strength and build muscle. After that, I went into 3 sets of 8 on a weighted chin-up. So I used a 20-pound vest over the course of these 12 weeks. Again, I'm lifting heavy. Most of the compound lifts are going to be anywhere from 5 to 8. That's really going to be the sweet spot where if I can get a weight for 8 reps, I'm going to increase weight, decrease reps, and try to continue to get stronger. After that, those were by themselves. So A and B, I did a superset of a Smith machine shoulder press. So taking out some stability after I was fatigued from the incline dumbbell bench press. I did sets of 6 to 8, so still going heavy. I supersetted that Smith machine shoulder press with a reverse fly. And I did just a little split-second pause at the end of each rep just to really focus on making sure my rear delts are firing. I think this is a machine where you can really let the wrong muscles take over pretty easily. And it's easy to just let your shoulders shrug up at the ears and your traps get up in the ears. And it's easy just to throw on a bunch of weight. I think if you can focus on relaxing your shoulders and throwing your pinky straight up to the side, just give it a quick second squeeze at the end of each rep, you're really going to be able to target your rear delts and be able to effectively get stronger in those muscles. After that, I did the next part, your part D and part E. I did 4 sets of 8 to 10. I kept the rest time at a minute. The part D was a Penlay row on the Smith machine. Did it from a deficit. This is a really good exercise. I'll be adding weight over time. I used the minute rest in between sets to be the intensity technique there. 4 sets. And then it did the same thing on a machine pec fly. If you don't have this machine, that's okay. You can use cables, you can use dumbbells, but it did 4 sets of 8 to 10, no more than a minute rest, and really focusing on going as heavy as I possibly can. Again, the goal is to build muscle and build strength. We're not trying to lift light weights. I'm trying to focus on overloading, lifting heavy. If you can get 10 reps of the weight, it's too light. It's time to bump it up. If we are lifting light weights throughout this prep, it's going to be really easy to lose muscle mass. After that, the arm segment. So I only did 1 exercise for bicep, 1 for tricep today, but I did 5 sets of a preacher curl. And then at the end, I did a double rest pause set. So on my last set, I did 5 sets, 8 to 10. I got 10 reps, stepped back, took 3 deep breaths, and I went to another set to failure. Stepped back, took 3 deep breaths, went to another set to failure. Just an intensity technique. Again, we don't have as much volume, so we got to have the intensity to continue to build strength and build muscle. And then the last exercise, I did a tricep pushdown. I did the same concept, 5 sets, 8 to 10, double rest pause on that last set. If I can get 10 reps of the weight, it's too light. Try to increase weight, keep the form strict, and focus on just using your triceps. And then after that last set, same thing. I did a double rest pause, just taking it to failure.
So that is a wrap for our upper body strength workouts. What I'm going to do post-workout, I'm going to hit a shake. And actually, on my strength training days, what I'm going to do post-workout is I'm going to have 2 scoops of our FitGrind whey protein. That's what I always do. 2 scoops after my workout gives me 48 grams of protein. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to slam that. I'm going to mix up some more water. I'm going to mix a scoop of our electrolytes and a scoop of our greens. Especially during this half marathon prep, electrolyte supplementation, if you're a hybrid athlete, is crucial. Electrolyte supplementation is going to help you replenish the potassium, the magnesium, and the sodium that you're pushing out through your strength training workouts, that you're pushing out through your sweat from your running workouts. It is crucial to improve your performance, to make sure that you are hydrated, because if you're just putting water back in your body and you're pushing out all these electrolytes, sodium, potassium, magnesium, you're going to be dehydrated and you're going to suffer in your performance. You're not going to be able to train at the intensity that you want. So I always do 1 scoop of electrolytes either during the workouts of my strength training workouts, or a lot of times what I'll end up doing, just so I can be more consistent with it, is I'll mix a scoop of the pink Starburst electrolyte with a scoop of our FitGrind greens. The mixed berry and pink Starburst combo is so freaking good. I'll mix it in like 24 to 30 ounces of water and I'll down that. On my run workouts, I do it a little bit differently, and that's something that I'll cover in a future video, more in depth, especially as we go throughout this prep. I'm always doing a scoop before the workout. Sometimes I'm doing it during, and almost every single run workout I'm doing it after, because I'm somebody that is very sweaty. I push out a lot of salt and electrolytes when I sweat and when I run. So we want to make sure that I'm staying hydrated, I'm avoiding any sort of cramping, and just really being able to show up and give it my best every single workout. So this is what my post-workout stack looks like after a strength workout. If you'd like to check out our supplement line, I will leave the link down in the comment section below. It's fitgrindformula.com. And you can even use the exclusive discount code GRIND15 to save 15% off your first order. So go check out our supplements, guys. We worked with a lab to put these products together. We picked the exact ingredients, the dosage, everything that is on the label is exactly what you get. Our whey protein powder is naturally and artificially sweetened. In the future, we're going to move to a fully naturally sweetened product. Our electrolytes and our greens are fully naturally sweetened, no artificial sweeteners. Our electrolytes has potassium, magnesium, sodium, 0 grams of sugar, no artificial sweeteners, no BS. And our greens has more than 5 servings of leafy green vegetables, digestive enzymes, and probiotics. What this is really going to help throughout my prep is going to help me make sure that I'm getting my micronutrients from my greens. That's going to help me maintain a healthy immune system and immune function. And it's really going to increase my chances of not getting sick, especially when we're training hard, we're tearing down that immune system. This is something that's really going to help me stay at my best. It's going to help me maintain good immune function with the hopes of trying to avoid getting sick throughout this 12-week prep. So, like I said, if you'd like to check out anything from our supplement line, we appreciate the support. FitGrindFormula.com. The link is in the comment section below. Go use the code GRIND15. You can get 15% off your first order. So, thanks for tuning into the workout today, guys. This is the first strength workout of our prep. Yesterday, we hit that first 6-mile run. Super excited for this prep and just showing you that you can lift and you can run and train for half marathon, and those two things can coexist. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you throughout this entire 12-week prep. The diet, the recovery, the mobility, the strength training, the running, how you can really set a goal for your next half marathon or 5K, 10K, marathon, whatever it is, and still train hybrid. You can still build muscle. You don't just have to be a meathead that lifts. You don't have to just be a runner that runs. You can combine both those things in your program, and that's really what this 12-week prep is going to show you. So I'm excited, guys. And as always, if you have questions, let me know down in the comment section below. I've got a ton of awesome videos coming up soon. Tomorrow, we have a speed session, which I will cover that in a future video. These are workouts that are going to help us get faster. They're going to help our legs get used to turning over faster because, my goal of a sub 135 half marathon, that's 7:15 minute miles. That's pretty quick for a 205-pound individual. So you need to focus on practicing speeds that are faster than your goal pace. And that's exactly what these speed sessions are really going to focus on. So stay tuned. Make sure that you subscribe because, like I said, I'm going to cover that in a future video. So hope you guys are excited. And as always, like I said, if you have questions, let me know. I'm here to help. And I'll leave some videos on the top of the screen to check out next. Go check those out. And we'll see you guys in the next one.